In this card trick tutorial, I'm going to show you an easy way of how to make a selected card rise from a deck of cards. And since Halloween is around the corner, I thought it might be appropriate to share this one with you. So we'll start out, give the deck a few shuffles, have the spectator select any card that they want. Let's say they selected that card. They look at it, don't show you. Go ahead and remember it. Just place the card back in the middle of the deck somewhere, completely losing it. You can even give the deck a few cuts. Okay, completely losing their card somewhere in the deck. You have no idea where. Now, there is a ghost that lives in this deck, and he can actually make one card rise to the top of the deck. If I just give my fingers a snap, we'll ask Hank to rise a card to the top, the Jack of Diamonds. Was that your card? No. Well, maybe Hank's asleep on the job. Hold on. Maybe if we just tap the deck, wake Hank up, maybe he'll make a card rise, maybe not to the top, but actually out of the deck. Just like that. One card rises out of the deck. What was your card? Was it the King of Clubs? And that's an easy rising card, and it's very simple to do. Before I let you know how to do it, please like and subscribe. I appreciate it. Let me know what you think in the comments. It's similar to shooting card. You're gonna have to make a simple gimmick here. It's the same gimmick as in shooting card. You're gonna need 2 cards and a little piece of elastic in the middle of 2 cards, okay? So to make this gimmick, you're gonna need a face mask, and I use this other side for the shooting card trick, okay? And get your scissors, just fray one end, cut the end off, and then you might have to even kind of pull at this end that you frayed a little bit until you get the elastic to come apart like that, okay? And then that's what you're gonna use to make your gimmick. And I'll use these 2 cards, a 3 of diamonds and a 4 of spades, to show you kind of where to tape the card. Okay, you want on the 3 of diamonds, you want it at the bottom of the diamond. Okay, so the bottom of the pip, that's where you want, and in the center. So that's where you want to put your first piece of tape, so the string sets up right there, okay? As close as possible. I was a little bit off on this one, which is fine, okay? And then take your 4, turn it over, cover up the 3, okay? Put that much over, and then just lay out the thread, and you're gonna wanna put your second piece, and then this is my right side over here on the handlebars of the bicycle, okay? I'm using clear tape, and I'll show you with some blue tape where exactly these pieces are, okay? And then push that down, and then cut any excess elastic, okay? And it's the thin elastic, not this thick piece, because that, when you put the 2 cards together, it'll leave a big gap, okay? So there's the cards, and then just for visuals, this is where the tape is on each card, okay? So when you have them like that, okay? Now, your gimmick, you kind of have to break it in a little bit to make sure it's not too tight or too loose, okay? All right, if you do this, you can kind of break it in a little bit. And if it is too tight or too loose, if it's too tight, you can always just pull some of the elastic out of the tape and it'll loosen up a little bit. And if it's too loose, you can just bend some elastic over and then put another piece of tape to tighten it, okay? So that's just a to troubleshoot if you're having problems with it being too tight or too loose, okay? And then also on the 3, we have to, like this one is, make a short card here. See how that one has it's a short corner. So you take your scissors and just carefully, doesn't have to be perfect, just cut a little off and round the corner, okay? So you can get a short corner on the 3. It's the opposite side that the 3's on. So when you riffle through the deck with your thumb, you can feel where the gimmick is and stop. Because when these 2 cards are together, it's pretty thin, right? It's like just 2 cards sitting next to each other. Okay, so that's your gimmick, and then you start the trick with the gimmick on the bottom, and there's a top and a bottom to the gimmick, so you want the top, you know, facing towards the spectator. Let me just check it here. See how the short card will let you know where the gimmick is, okay? So that's the reason for that. So you can start the card trick, and because they're not, you know, attached directly together, you know, they have spacing in between each other, you can spread the cards out, you can turn the cards over, you can do, you know, a simple spread out just like that. There's no bulky cards stuck together, which also lets you shuffle. And if you do it quick enough, you know, you're not going to see the string, okay? The elastic thread. And of course you can use a thin elastic thread for this too instead of using the face mask, but the old face mask works perfectly, I think better than elastic thread. All right, so start the trick with the gimmick on the bottom. Have the spectator select any card that they'd like, except for obviously the bottom gimmick cards. As they're looking at their card, give the deck just a regular cut. That'll put your gimmick somewhere in the middle. If they look at their card, as you go to put the card back in the deck, you riffle down with your thumb and feel for where that gimmick break is. And when you do this, you'll feel it, okay? And that's where you slide their card in, okay? And then as long as you hold either the sides tight or the top and bottom tight, this card's not going to shoot out. And like I said, it's the same gimmick as the shooting card, okay? So you can give the deck a few cuts, give the story about how the deck's haunted. There's, you know, a ghost that lives in there, can make a card rise to the top, okay? And so if you turn over a top card, obviously it's not their card. You say, well, he can make one rise out of the middle, and then as you turn the deck over, just loosen your grip on the deck, and that'll start to make the card rise out of the deck, okay? And then that just takes some getting used to how tight to hold it, hold the grip, and how tight, how loose to hold it, so that you can get a good card to rise up out of the deck, okay? And boom, you know, it'll be their card. And so that's it. And obviously it is the same gimmick as shooting cards. So if you wanted to do that trick with this same gimmick, or if you already made the gimmick, it's perfect. You know, that trick, I think, looks a little bit better than the rising card, but this is just a simple rising card, and that works too. Okay? So let me know what you think. Leave me a comment. Please like and subscribe if you haven't, and happy Halloween.